Welcome to This Explainer. So what if I told you that making money isn't just about being incredibly lucky, and actually, it's not even just about working super hard either. According to the entrepreneur and philosopher Naval Ravikant, making money is a learnable skill. It's a fundamental skill set that you can study, practice, and ultimately master. Think about it this way. Naval believes that if you lost literally everything today and were dropped on a random street in an English-speaking country, you could, with the right mental models, be wealthy again within 5 or 10 years. Crazy, right?
To figure out exactly how that's possible, we're pulling directly from the Almanac of Naval Ravikant. This is a brilliant collection put together by Eric Jorgensen, and it weaves together Naval's timeless wisdom, his profound podcast interviews, and his famous, highly concentrated tweet storms. It's essentially a curated guide to help you walk your own unique path towards lasting financial freedom and ultimately happiness.
Okay, here's our agenda for today. 1. Who is Naval Ravikant? 2. Wealth versus money. 3. Specific knowledge. 4. The power of leverage. And 5. Productize yourself.
Section 1. Who is Naval Ravikant?
Before taking anyone's advice on getting wealthy, we really need to understand their background. We need to prove that Naval is a world-class operator who has actually stress-tested these ideas in the real world, not just some armchair philosopher theorizing from the sidelines. And tracing his journey gives his wealth-building framework immense credibility. Naval was born in New Delhi in 1974, and he moved to Queens, New York when he was 9. He grew up as a poor immigrant and a latchkey kid in a pretty unsafe neighborhood. His dad worked in a hardware store, and Naval actually delivered Indian food out of a van. The local library became his after-school refuge, and books basically became his best friends. But everything shifted when he passed the test to get into Stuyvesant High School, which propelled him to an Ivy League education at Dartmouth, and eventually right into the tech world. He founded multiple companies, including AngelList, and invested super early in massive hits like Uber and Twitter. Going from a really tough childhood to being named Angel Investor of the Year, yeah, that proves his methods absolutely work.
Section 2. Wealth versus money. The whole foundation of Naval's formula requires a massive paradigm shift regarding what we're actually chasing in our careers, because most people are aiming at the totally wrong target. He asks a critical question. Are you renting out your time? I mean, you can work in a restaurant 80 hours a week, grinding yourself to the absolute bone, but you are not going to get rich simply by renting out your time. If your input of hours is directly tied to your output of dollars, you have a ceiling you're just never going to break through. Hard work definitely matters for sure, but it has to be directed in the right way.
So we have to contrast wealth with money. Money is just social credits. It's society's IOU giving you credit for work you did in the past. But wealth? Wealth is the thing you actually want. Wealth consists of assets that earn while you sleep. Wealth is the factory or the robots cranking out products or a computer program running at night serving customers around the globe while you're literally dreaming. To become truly rich, you have to stop chasing money and start building or acquiring wealth.
Section 3. Specific knowledge. Now, you can't just build a wealth-generating factory out of thin air. You have to start with your unique inputs. So what is specific knowledge? To find this, we need to ask ourselves what we can uniquely provide to society. You see, society will pay you for creating things it genuinely wants but doesn't yet know how to get. If it already knew how, it wouldn't need you. It would just stamp them out on a generic assembly line. You have to find that highly unique thing you can naturally provide.
Naval hits the nail on the head here. He says, specific knowledge is knowledge you cannot be trained for. If society can train you, it can train someone else and replace you. This means true specific knowledge isn't found sitting in a university classroom or reading a trendy business magazine. It's found by pursuing your genuine curiosity and passion rather than whatever career trend happens to be hot right now. Building this knowledge will feel like play to you, but it's going to look like work to everyone else. It's that thing you did almost effortlessly as a kid or a teenager. It could be an incredible natural talent for sales, a deep love for science fiction that lets you absorb complex information super quickly, or even just having a highly obsessive personality. It's this weird, beautiful combination of your unique DNA and your upbringing. As Naval perfectly puts it, no one can compete with you on being you.
Section 4. The power of leverage.
Having specific knowledge isn't enough on its own. You have to figure out how to scale it up to the masses. Naval uses this classic quote from Archimedes. "Give me a lever long enough and a place to stand, and I will move the earth." He uses this to explain that building a fortune requires leverage. You can't move the earth or become wealthy just by pushing harder with your bare hands. Leverage is the ultimate force multiplier for your judgment and your specific knowledge. But, and this is absolutely crucial, not all leverage is created equal. Historically, people relied on what we call permissioned leverage. That's capital and labor. You need someone to give you money to invest, or you need people to agree to follow you and work for you. Everyone fights over these. But the leverage of the newly rich is permissionless leverage. We're talking about code and media. These are products with literally zero marginal cost of replication that work for you completely independently of anyone else's approval.
You literally have an army of robots freely available to you. They're just packed in data centers around the world, running on electricity instead of sleep. Use them. And hey, if you don't know how to write software code, that is entirely fine. You can write books, start blogs, record videos, or host podcasts. Media is an incredibly powerful form of permissionless leverage that allows your specific knowledge to be duplicated an infinite number of times.
Section 5. Productize yourself.
We have now arrived at the climax of the explainer, bringing all these foundational concepts together. Naval synthesizes his entire philosophy into just 2 words: productize yourself. Think of it as 2 distinct steps. Step 1, yourself, means bringing your unique DNA, taking on accountability under your own name, and leaning hard into your specific knowledge. Step 2, productize, means finding the leverage, whether that's code, media, or even capital, to scale that uniqueness out to the rest of the world.
But Naval is quick to remind us that there are absolutely no get-rich-quick schemes. Honestly, anyone selling you that is just getting rich off of you. He says become the best in the world at what you do. Keep redefining what you do until this is true. Applying your specific knowledge with immense leverage takes time, incredible focus, and constant iteration. It might take you the better part of a decade just to figure out what you can uniquely provide.
So take this final provocative thought with you as we close out this explainer. Look inward. What is the specific knowledge you naturally possess that feels like play to you but looks like work to everyone else? And how will you use the permissionless leverage of code or media to productize it today? It's time to stop renting out your time, start building your assets, and begin the fascinating, lifelong journey of productizing yourself.